All right, well, today's a day where I started early and I'm going to finish early with some profit. $2,921.98, mostly on GNS. Not a bad day, all things considered. Uh, I started about 6:45. I sat down, and right at 7 was when we got this squeeze on GNS. News came out, and this thing ripped. I mean, it really took off. It went from $5 all the way up to a high of 871. And I really didn't trade it as well as I could have because I wasn't really sure about it. We traded a couple times over the last I don't know, week or so, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, it's interesting, but wasn't totally sure. So I basically watched it squeeze through 6 and rip up to 7, and I was like, wow, son of a gun, this thing is strong. Uh, so I got in right here. This was my first entry at 686, and then I added at 696. So that was my first trade. We got a squeeze up here to 711. It pulls back. I added at 710, and then it pulls away here. And I took profit off the table at 7. Let's see. Um, I was taking profit off the table 735, 741, 755, and I was down to like still holding 200 shares at 750 by the time it was at 750. And then it goes all the way to 850, and I was like, oh man, I want to add back, but I don't know. I did a quick scalp on a dip down here off of 8, bounced back up to 830. That was okay. But anyways, that was basically that was it. Those were my best trades of the day. So if we look at this chart, we had this pullback right here, which gave us the break of 7, a micro pullback at 711, and then from there, pretty much straight up to 870. Big move, really nice. But unfortunately, it pulled back quite a bit, and then it did this sort of slow grind back up, which I tried trading a couple times, and I gave back maybe $300 on those choppy moves. And then at the open, it popped up and then flushed, halted down. So nasty sell off. And so that for me is sort of the writing on the wall. And if we look at the gap scanner, leading gappers TENX, the chart on TENX doesn't look great. I don't like it. So I wasn't interested in the leading gapper. BPTS, I wasn't interested in that one either. It's a little too cheap for me. ZVSA, I wasn't interested in this one. This chart had pulled back way too much. So the leading gappers weren't good this morning. GNS, at one point was a bigger gapper, of course, than it is now. But even then, I was like, that was what was making me a little unsure because I thought it wasn't gapping up enough initially. I just wasn't sure about it. ELYS, this one, I did take a trade on. It was on this news spike here as it pops up. I jumped in it and made $410 in this move. I got in a little high on it. I don't remember exactly where my entry was, but anyways, I got a trade on it there. Came back up here. I didn't trade that second attempt. It's coming back up a little here. Didn't go for that one either. I just don't want to. I'm just not feeling it. I just don't like when we don't have an obvious stock. That for me, regardless of whether I'm green or red, I don't feel like this is a day that's going to be really strong for the bulls because we don't have an obvious gapper that's looking really good and is holding its gains. Now, it's certainly possible something else will pop up. And yesterday, by the end of the day, you had a nice power hour move on CETX. Really nice move. I mean, this thing went from $6 to 17. So it went up like 300%. Low float stock, caught a bid, traders started jumping in, and you got that move. So you never know. You could get something like that today, but my experience is that most successful traders are not sitting at their computer for 8 or 10 hours a day. Some do, but most do not. And of course, there's a lot of traders that will, but they may not be successful. So whatever they do, you have to sort of take with a grain of salt. So I kind of try to think about what are most successful traders doing, and most successful traders seem to get into a groove of finding their sweet spot. They get in they trade during that window and then they're out. And then, like a lot of people who have been successful in life, they have other things that they're doing and that also can produce income. So they have multiple streams of revenue, which is important for diversification. So anyways, I hit my, sort of 2 hours in the market today. I would have been happy to trade a little longer, but unfortunately the gappers don't look good, and I think the writing's on the wall to step back. So that's what I'm going to do, stepping back, and I'll live to trade another day, right? That's the goal. I'm going to do a YouTube live at 10 a.m. today. The topic will be on momentum trading strategies. So I'll put a link to that at the end of this episode for people to check out. And thank you as always for tuning in and watching these recaps on YouTube. Hope you guys hit the thumbs up, and I want to remind you as always that trading is risky and my results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee that you'll find success. Whether you trade on your own, you'll learn from me. So you better take it slow and practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.